What's up, beautiful people? And welcome back to the Black Tea Podcast. Today, we're diving into something that many of us have probably grappled with: understanding men. And let me be clear, this isn't about bashing men, it's about gaining insights that can help us all navigate the dating world with more awareness and self-respect. I've spent some time looking at different perspectives on men, and what I've found, honestly, has been a real mix of eye-opening and frustrating. Let's unpack it.
The reason why women are not successful when dating is because we don't watch what men do. Men are the best teachers. Men never settle or reduce their standards to accommodate a woman. I say them when they contact me. If I say I've got women here who can be a good match for you, they'll say, no, that's not what I'm looking for. This is what I want. They don't even reduce their standards to accommodate these women who I'll be having, let's say, I've profiled. They stick to say they want. It's only us women who say, as long as they love me. And I'm like, really? Why do we have to lower our standards? They are not lowering their standards to accommodate us, but we lower our standards to accommodate men who don't even deserve us. Why do we do that? Ladies, we need to stop. Take lessons from men. You don't know how to date? Watch a man. They only concentrate on things that benefit them. If it doesn't benefit them, they drift away. You have to do the same. Play the same game, you'll be very successful. Good luck.
Here are some life lessons that I learned from men, from dating men in my 20s, aka what got me to think more like a man. Prioritize yourself, because women are natural givers. One thing men never do is put other people ahead of them, but women are natural caretakers. So it's very easy for us to give and neglect ourselves. Before you pour into other people's cups, you should be pouring into yours. You don't need to know everything to achieve something. All you need is audacity. A lot of things can be learned or figured out when you need to. Never put all of your eggs in one basket. Not just in dating. In your career, always be looking for other jobs and other opportunities. In your income, always have multiple streams of income. And in any other areas that you can think of, always have a backup plan.
First, let's talk about the games. Some of the videos suggest that men are strategic in dating, prioritizing their own needs and desires. Now, I'm not saying all men are master manipulators, but there's this idea that they tend to focus on what benefits them, and they don't lower their standards to accommodate a woman. This can be a tough pill to swallow when we, as women, are often conditioned to be givers and caretakers. We may try to fit a man into our already full schedule, while the same may not be true for the man. I think we need to take a page from their book and prioritize ourselves first. It's not about being selfish. It's about recognizing your value and not dimming your own light to accommodate someone else.
One thing we all need to learn from men is how to lie. Yeah. Men are the best liars. And some of you have men that are willing to spend money on you, but you just tell them the truth too soon. Oh no, I don't like you like that. You're just a friend. When you should be keeping your mouth closed. You should be pretending. Yeah. Oh, I like you. I can't wait to cook for you. I can't wait to be your wife. And once you get the funds that you're looking for, you get up out of there. Man will know he does not want to make a woman his wife or his official girlfriend, but he will still take the advantage of spreading her legs from east to west. So you, as a woman, need to take the advantage of spreading his pockets from east to west. Hello.
Too many women are more focused on how they feel than what he said. He could say, I don't want a relationship, but if she feels, but we could be great together, she will hold on to that rather than his actual words. We have to start to understand we're not wired the same way. If I'm a man, my goal is to get more emotionally in tune with you, because I know that sometimes a woman is not going to always use her words to explain how she's feeling. She wants you to pick up on things because women pick up on things. Women see the details, so they want us to see the details. For women, she has to work on being more logical with her approach with him.
Something I learned from my boyfriend while dating him is to shut up. I know it's not just me. A lot of women who date black men, they complain that men do not express themselves. And I've seen this happen over and over again. Even if you watch a podcast where a man and a woman is on the panel, a man could say a sentence and a woman will cut him off and say a whole speech about that one sentence. If you just learn to pause and let him finish and just ask questions to fully get to know him, he will tell you so much. Black men open up. You just got to give them the space to. Just learn to be quiet. And also keep in mind that you're listening to understand, not to judge or to give your opinion, but to really just see his point of view and get to learn his mind. That will go a long way. So just be quiet, let him talk, ask questions. Your time to give your opinions and your thoughts will come. And if you notice, men always sit quietly and listen. Give them that same in return.
Things that I learned from men, from dating men, aka How to Think Like a Man, part 2. Your goals should always be your top priority. Men should never come before making money. Men would move mountains to spend time with a guy. If she has work, she'll cut into her work time. She'll cut into her rest time. But a man would never put a woman before his bag. Stop giving people second chances and hoping they'll change. When you're dating someone and they show you their ass, they show you who they are, if you don't like it, leave. Leave them where they're at, because you trying to change them is just going to anchor you. Spend more time with your girls. Men are always with their boys, and that's why they don't do stuff like obsess over us or overthink everything we say, because they're out having fun with their boys. So spend more time with your girls to keep your mind off men.
If you're confused about a man's behavior, all you have to do is this: ignore his words and look at his actions. And I know that you heard this before, but here's the essence behind it. Saying I like you, you're amazing takes me no effort, right? But taking an action to prove that I care about you requires time and energy. And keep this in mind. Usually men say words to get something from you, or they take action to give something to you. So choose the givers.
Let me tell you something about men, a hack real quick while we're here. If you do something for a woman, if you like, I don't know, give her a back massage or buy her an ice cream, she takes it as, oh my God, you've done such a nice thing for me, I'm going to reciprocate. If you do something like that for a man, he takes it as, wow, I've deserved that. So all this time you're doing this female thing. It's like a female form of manipulation, but we don't see it that way because it's actually a really nice thing to do. When you're cooking him meals, putting out for him, doing all this madness, jumping through hoops in order to make him happy, and you're like mad, resentful, angry little rat in the corner because he's not doing it back to you, remember, all you're communicating to him with that type of communication is that he's a don. He's deserved it. And you're just doing all these amazing things for him because he's the best. If you want a man to do stuff for you, tell him what you want him to do, number one, or just tell him what kind of things you like. I like flowers, instead of buying him flowers every Friday. That's some information for free. Besos.
Now, the videos also emphasize that men and women communicate differently. Men aren't always going to be as expressive with their feelings or as detail-oriented. Instead of trying to force them to communicate in the way that we do, we need to listen, really listen to what they are saying. We need to ask questions, not to judge, but to try and understand their perspective. For example, if a man is not talking about his feelings, instead of forcing him, we should create a space where he feels safe to share without judgment or fear that it will be used against him. I believe this approach promotes a healthier dynamic in the relationship. I've also noticed that this idea that men want the chase comes up in the sources. Now, while I don't support playing games, it's important to recognize that men value what they invest in. This doesn't mean that you need to make yourself unavailable, but rather it means being clear about what you want and not settling for less. If a man is truly interested, he'll make the effort. It's about looking at actions, not just words. Anyone can say they like you, but do their actions demonstrate that? If he texts all day, but doesn't put in any real effort to show up, that doesn't mean anything. Now, let's talk about some of the harsh truths the videos mention. One thing that stood out to me is the idea that men don't offer unconditional love. While this may seem bleak, I see it as an invitation to be realistic about relationships and avoid codependency. It highlights that relationships are built on mutual benefits and effort. Also, the idea that many men may settle for a woman who is the best option at the time, but might then seek other options once they achieve greater success, is a good reminder that we should also be choosing partners wisely and with our eyes open. It is a very common scenario that men will say that they cheated, but they will never admit it. Therefore, it is important to make our own decisions without falling into the illusion that people will eventually change if we are patient enough. On the flip side, the videos also highlight some positive attributes of men that often get overlooked. Vulnerability, decisiveness, a care for others, and a slow approach to relationships are things I think we should be looking for. It is important to be able to recognize men who take the time to get to know you and build something real rather than the ones who give you everything in the beginning and then suddenly pull back. Now, here's where my personal opinion comes in. I think it's important to remember that these are just trends and observations, not hard and fast rules. Every man is an individual, and we need to approach each relationship with an open mind and an awareness of our own needs and desires. Instead of being mad at men, maybe we can use this information to understand what we want and to create the type of relationships that are healthy and that support our personal growth.
So I'm 26 and I feel like I've learned a lot from men in my 20s, and these are a few things that I have learned. Men are selfish, and they are selfish in a good way. They always prioritize themselves, whereas us women, we tend to put them first unintentionally. We can learn from that. An example would be, you've already got your day planned out and he's come unexpectedly and said, I want to see you. Now, your day is jam-packed and you can't fit anything else in. If that was a man in that position, they would say, oh babe, I can't do today. Whereas us women, we will try and fit him in. Prioritize yourself. If you're busy that day, you're busy. Give him an alternative day. 2, another thing I've learned about men is they don't stay and try to change the woman. If you're not up to par, if things are just not hitting, they're gonna go and get another one. Girls, stop trying to change a man that doesn't want to change. If someone wants to change, it will be on their own accord. You can't force it, you can't make them. Get another one. The 3rd thing I've learned about guys in my 20s is they don't date potential. I've realized that usually they go for who you are today, the type of person you are today. And I generally believe that girls can learn from that, because we must leave the shackles of potential and go for reality. Who is this person today? Is this someone I see myself with for the rest of my life? Is this someone I see raising my children? If he's disrespectful towards you in an argument, what are we really doing here? Why is that something you'll accept? Oh, he's going to change. Girl, the only thing he's going to change is that verbal abuse will one day become physical. Date his reality. Date who he's showing you today. Yeah? Don't date for potential. Because that potential is a made-up story in your head. That is one thing that I've realized. And then you'll be disappointed. But, as always, this doesn't apply to all men. There's green flags out there, guys. There's good men out there sometimes. But these are things that I've learned.
3 things I wish I knew about men when I was younger. Listen to what he talks about in the very beginning of your relationship, especially what he says on a first date. If he talks about his work, his health, his mother, his ex, those are the things that are important to him. And if you want to get to know him, all you need to do is to sit back and listen. Focus on how you feel when you're with him, instead of putting all your attention to if he likes you enough or what he may think of you. A man cannot commit if he has not found his purpose yet. And we women should understand how important that is to men, instead of conveniently dismissing it because we want him so badly. If you want to see how a man feels about you, all you have to do is to look at how much effort he puts in his actions. If he texts you all day and sends you emojis, great. But you know what? I don't care, because it doesn't really mean anything. To text you is the easiest thing in the world. It doesn't take any effort. I get it. It's nice to read his texts. But I want you to know one thing. Whatever the two of you have only starts to have meaning to that man once he feels he has to make a real effort to show his attraction to you, because men value what they invest in.
Men are supposed to be the leaders. You teach us how to treat you. We're the mirror of you. When you use us, eventually we're going to start reflecting that back to you. You don't use us and you treat us like queens and goddesses and princesses and give us what we deserve, then that's what we're going to do to you. But since y'all been using us, we got to start back using you, because that's just universal law. You know, that's cause and effect. That's polarity. If we don't start using you, something is wrong. Nature will be thrown off. You know what I'm saying? If you drop something and it doesn't hit the ground, something's wrong. If you slap something and no sound comes out, something is wrong. Every action has a reaction. Every cause has an effect. Okay? So now it's time for y'all to see yourselves through us. But we're going to be much worse because we're women. And y'all are men. The whole reason patriarchy became is because the power of woman is very strong, because it reveals the weakness of men. You know what I'm saying? Like, in every biblical story, the woman is always blamed, right? So I'm feeling like the only good stories about women in the Bible are those who are submissive to their husbands and do A, B, C, and D. You know, that's the only positive light that women are shown in the Bible. And then you have the ones that are shown as evil. They didn't listen to their men. They betrayed men. They seduced men. They did this, and that, and they were cast out and taught to be feared or cast out, right? So men always knew the power of women and that they were a weakness. So now you're getting ready, like, yeah, we were like, yeah, we want to do right. We want true love. We want to be happy. We want a good family. We want a faithful man. We want this. We want that. And then all that stuff started not happening. Like, it started fading. No guys are like that. So why would you have faithful good women when there's no faithful good men? You know, we have to reflect you.
Do not underestimate the man that starts slow. Do not underestimate the man that takes his time, that wants to get to know you before he does all the big things, because it is those men who will have that slow build and who will blow your mind with time. It's the ones that start off at 100% that cannot sustain that 100%. But if he starts slow, you know that he has boundaries, he has self-respect. He's not out here just trying to woo every woman he meets, but instead he's trying to get to know you. He's trying to be your friend. I think that we take for granted the ability for somebody to just be our friend because we esteem romance differently than we esteem our friendships, and we shouldn't do that. But when you think about a man who starts slow, he gets to slowly build your suspense, your anticipation, your expectations. He gets to get to know you without stretching himself too thin, and vice versa. Because if he does all the things for you that you want him to do for an entire year, and then he slowly falls off of that, he has nowhere to go. He has no place to build upon. He's already pulled out all of his best cards when he didn't even know you. And then before you know it, you looking up and now you got a man who has not done any of the things that he started off doing. Whereas if you date a man who starts slow and builds up when he starts to love you more, know you more, can trust you with his heart, can trust you with his finances, can trust you around his family and friends, can trust you with his vulnerabilities, can trust you with all of him, he gives you the world. Why do you be wanting men to give you the world when they just met you? That's an indication that he will make you his world. And that's not something that you want when a person just met you. That's a prime example of somebody that can easily make you an idol in their lives and then won't be able to sustain the position and the expectation that they set themselves on. They will put themselves on a pedestal and then get mad when you want them to stay there. So it's better to date a man who builds slow, who wants to get to know you, and who will slowly become all that you ever dreamed of based on getting to know you and based on him feeling safe enough to do those things for you.
I also think we have to stop falling for the idea of the potential of a man. We need to focus on the reality of the person standing before us, not the fairy tale we've created in our head. Is he treating you with respect? Is he aligned with your values? Does he inspire you? These are the questions we should be asking. And finally, I'm not trying to tell you to be like a man, but I do think that at times we can learn from the way some men approach life, with audacity, a focus on their own goals, and a willingness to prioritize themselves. The biggest takeaway from all of this for me is that relationships should be based on mutual respect, honesty, and effort. We should strive to be with people who uplift us, who support our dreams, and who see us for who we truly are. We deserve partners who are not afraid to show vulnerability and who are genuinely invested in creating something beautiful with us. That's all for today, folks. I hope this conversation has given you some food for thought. Remember to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, stay empowered, stay informed, and keep steeping in that realness.